Hello, MMA fans. I'm bringing you analysis of MMA fights and actions for the past weekend. The fights that interest me right here are the one with the debut of Paddy the Baddy, the young man from former champion of Cage Warrior. It has been a long time coming. This young man has been making waves in the UK for a very long time. He has been having wins in that section of the world for a while. I bet you most people didn't know him until his fight with Luigi this past weekend. So Paddy appears to me as a young man who looks very ordinary. With his cute hairstyle, the B2 styled hair, and he looks very, very ordinary, because Paddy could be that young man you see on the street who is riding the bus with you, riding the train with you, and you wouldn't even see him as a fighter because he looks so ordinary. And then even drilling a little bit deeper, Paddy is one of those few fighters without an ink on his skin. So I believe that is the appeal. That is the appeal that he has with most of the fans, both in UK and right now building in the Western Hemisphere. The young man can talk. The young man can fight, and then he seems to have that sort of, if you want to say, Mystic Mark like prediction ability. He can predict his fights. In fact, prior to that fight at UFC Vegas 36, I was kind of skeptical, because this young man was saying a lot of things like he was going to fight and get the win in round one. He would be very disappointed if he didn't get the win in round one, or he would be disappointed if Luigi could get into round two with him. It sounded a bit arrogant, but when you listen to him at that time, you would know that this young man had that confidence. He was so sure of himself that, hey, he's going to finish this guy. So I'm usually very cautious when young fighters start like that, coming up, looking so arrogant, so brash, But yeah, if you can talk the talk and you walk the walk, definitely you get the respect of your peers. Yes, Paddy is just starting his MMA career in the UFC, and UFC is the melting pot, is the place where you find the best of the best fighters, and Paddy would be tested. He will be tested. And speaking of testing, his chin was tested at the beginning of that fight against Luigi. Luigi was no pushover. He was there to fight and he was there to win. But unfortunately, the fight didn't go his way. He tested Paddy, with very, very stiff punches. And Paddy was in trouble at the very early stages of that fight. And, I must tell you, I had jitters, when he was being punched. And he fought back. He fought back like a warrior. And he fought his way back to the stand-up stance. And then he blitzed this guy, And you could see at the very last, the final sequence of that fight, before he won that fight, you could see that when he understood that Luigi was hot, he went straight for the kill. That's a very unique quality from a fighter, a young fighter like Paddy. For him to sense that this man was hot, He hit him once, hit him twice, he kept on hitting him until the guy went down. So it tells you that, hey, this guy is determined, he has the killer instinct, and he's not afraid to trade punches. This guy was able to stand and back, and that's what most UFC fans are looking for. Like Paddy said, he said he's the new cash cow of the UFC. That statement will have to be tested in the long run. We'll have to see how well he's able to defend that statement. A lot of brash I think he's fighting 145, right? So a lot of brash young 145ers. If he's 145, I think so. I'm not too sure now. We'll be waiting for him. If in fact 145, 155, that should be Paddy's weight division. So he would have to prove himself. I'm sure he wouldn't start getting calls from the top guys right now, because most people would say, hey, he has to earn it. Paddy will have to get in 2, 3, 4, 5 fights in before he can start talking about the higher echelons of the fight game in the UFC. So what do you guys think? I think Paddy, my conclusion is that Paddy is a warrior. He's determined, and is willing to do what it takes to become that mega superstar in the UFC and around the world. So I think he will be tested. I think he's going to pass most of the tests that's going to be thrown at him. But at some point he will hit that tough challenge that he probably wouldn't be expecting, because a lot of people would have to study his style and then prepare for him specifically. So for now, people would most likely take him, probably underestimate him, and then they get rude shocks and rude awakenings. So UFC has a good thing going with Paddy. They have to be very careful how they build him up, so that he doesn't get there too quickly, and then we now start having stories that touch the heart. All right, guys, put in comments for me, and let's see what happens. All right, cheer up. Peace.